Alright folks, this is something I am going to call a handyman special. And that's different than a mechanic special. A mechanic special means there's something severely wrong with it, like a blown head gasket, transmission, etc. Handyman special really just means that it's got a bunch of stupid little things wrong with it that most people can fix. But I'm trying to keep the price way down. This is a 2002 Ford Explorer. Now, what's neat about this one is besides it has leather and it's loaded up with all kinds of equipment and everything, it also is the newer body style and it's got the third row seat. All right, let's start her up. Now, I'm going to start off by telling you that I have actually put 164 miles on this thing because I want to make sure I'm presenting a decent product for the price. But it's got 175,000, let me zoom in here a little bit, 770 miles. You can see it's pretty cold out today, so I can't tell you anything about the air conditioner, but I can tell you the heat works great. See that little flashy overdrive off sign? Easy fix. Take a piece of black electrical tape and put it on the glass and you won't be bothered by it. The overdrive does work. I've tested it numerous times to make sure, and so there's just something electrical there. I wouldn't even worry about it. The door ajar, well, the door is ajar right now, but I think that stays on all the time. I don't know why, it must be a switch. Like I said, a bunch of stupid little things wrong with it that are probably easy fixes. The main thing is it looks good, runs really good, and, you know, all the important stuff pretty much works. So let's check out the power windows first. Right rear, there's your right front. Come on around to this side, that's your left rear. And of course, the all-important auto down driver's window does work. Let's check it out. It's got a sunroof. I don't know if this works. Hey, look at that. Even I get lucky sometimes, okay? There you go. Power sunroof, tilt and slide. Does work. Automatic day-night mirror. Let's see. Let's check out the radio.
Upset with the player.
It sounds like it works. It's CD and cassette. Have no idea if that works. Okay, as I told you, the heat does work perfectly. Yeah, the AC does light up. Don't, like I said, too cold. The four-wheel drive actually works exactly as it should too. So this, like I said, has a pretty decent level of equipment. Let's do the mirrors. There's your right one. That works. Surprising. And there's your left one. Now, as a typical Ford, this does have remote keyless entry. And I think I only have one key and one remote. I'm not sure about all the door locks, how they work. Usually on these older Fords, they don't work well. But we'll check that out as we go around. Let's see, as you can see, I started it. It's ice cold, and that's going to come important a little later on in the video. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the tires, and then we'll walk around the body. Which, it's not great, but it's not a train wreck either. A little bit of TLC, this could actually be a very nice vehicle for somebody. All right, left front tire, doesn't look like there's a whole heck of a lot on there. Yeah, I'm going to go with 5/30 seconds, and you're probably going to want to replace them pretty quick. Let's see, left rear tire, that's got a little bit more meat on it. And that one's got about 7/30 seconds of tread on it. So that's about a little more than halfway, or about halfway. Let's see what this side says. And this one looks to be about the same. Yeah, just on about 7/30 seconds. All right, and then we'll go to the right front, which is probably the same as the other side. And that's about 4.5, 30 seconds. So moral of the story is get two front tires, call it a day. All right, body. As you can see, it's two-tone. Right front fender, nothing major wrong there. Little dings in the door, nothing big. This is your right front passenger door. All right, let's do the door jamb. There you go. There's your passenger floor. It's got these deep, what do they call them, winter mats in there. This seat's actually a pretty nice shape. I should have showed you the driver's side. It's a regular, it's not a power seat, the other side is. There you go. And oh, it does have the factory running boards, as you can see. Let's do the door frame. Somebody added the aftermarket rain gutters or rain guards, whatever. I really like them. And this is surprising to me, but if there's going to be a huge rust problem, here's where it'll start. And this one's pretty clean. All right. Let's see, right rear door doesn't open. That's right. Something's wrong with the door. Don't know why. Just doesn't open. That rain guard is cracked, and as you can see, there's your roof rack with crossbars. Right rear quarter panel, it's got a little scratch in it, but nothing big. Again, rear bumper, crack there. Again, you know, just annoying little things. But it does open, so there's no problem there. And of course, here's the Trunk Jamb. It's remarkably rust-free. Really surprises me on this generation Ford. Here is your third row seat. All right, so look at that. Somebody left a rag in there. I'll take that out. You don't need that. And as you can see, nice and clean and tidy. This does fold down, of course. So you can actually, all these seats fold down. So you can have all this space from here to the front for cargo if you need, or you can fit 7 people in this vehicle if you have to. All right, let's close this up. As is always the case, if you ever look at any 2002, 2003 Explorer, Mountaineer, whatever, you're going to see that. The back piece is cracked. They actually came out with an aftermarket thing now that goes over that to hide that crack if you want to do that. And of course it's got just a class 2, it looks like, or maybe class 1 weight distributing hitch platform, basically for holding smaller stuff. Most of these Explorers came with that, you know, at the dealer. That's how we just ordered them. There's your spare tire. Air's underneath. Okay. All right, coming down this side, let's see. Left rear quarter looks okay. I don't know what this is. Looks like a little bubbling or something under the surface, but nothing breaking through the paint. And you can see, pretty nice shape. The alloy wheels are pretty nice on this. Here is your 3 seats in the middle, and they're individual, so you can actually fold that middle one down and use that as like a armrest, cup holders, you know, that sort of stuff. Here's your floor. Has the rear winter floor mats. Check your headliner out. There you go. Alrighty, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, driver's door, it looks okay. You know, it's got its little nicks, little chips, that sort of stuff, but again, it's even got the remote for getting into the car. Have no idea what the code is. If you really want that, you got to go to the dealer. And there is your driver's floor. Alright, and here's the seat. Yep, does have a little bit of wear and tear. I mean, it is an 02, and it does have 170-some thousand miles on it, so you got to expect a little wear and tear, which quite frankly isn't that bad on this vehicle. Now let's check out this door. You know what, I just realized I don't think I did the rear door there. Let's go do that one now. Try to be as consistent as I can with these videos. There's your door jamb. Yeah, it looks like it's missing a couple pieces of trim. Again, like I said, handyman special. That's why I'm using that term, because that's some of the annoying stuff that I find wrong with it. And again, very clean on the doors. This is not a rusty basket case at all, like especially some of the older Explorers could be. All right, left front fender actually looks pretty decent. So if you look at this vehicle in total, it's actually a very decent looking vehicle. All right, front bumper, not bad. It's missing a little piece there. Okay, let's take a look underneath, see what we got. Looks like it's got the fog lights from the factory. All right, there's underneath. But here's the important thing. How does it run? This thing runs great. Like I said, I put quite a bit of mileage on it to make sure. It's got the 4-liter 6-cylinder engine, which, you know, is probably one of Ford's better efforts, I would have to say. But of course, as complicated as these Fords always are, I don't like sticking my hands in here to rev them up. So what I'm going to do is just give you a little tour of the engine compartment and shut up and you can listen to the motor. It does run good. Like I said, I put some mileage on it. The hood, it looks like a tiny little rust bubble starting there. You know, various little scratches, paint chips, etc. But overall, like I said, this is actually a good looking truck. Step back a little bit, you can take a look at that. Come around to this side. And of course, for those of you that live in New Jersey, this is important. It's got a good inspection sticker until August. So let's see, it's April now, May, June, July. So that gives you about 3-4 months. So basically what you're going to get is a very inexpensive 7-passenger, good looking, good running, just annoying, stupid little things wrong with it vehicle for a very inexpensive price, I can promise you. But most importantly is how it runs, and we're going to take it for a test drive now. All right, everyone, we're going to take it for a ride now, and what's important is the vehicle's not running now. It has had a chance to warm up. I've let it warm completely up, and now we're going to perform what I call a warm start. Kind of important, whether you buy a car from me, don't buy a car from me, doesn't really matter. You want to see it start ice cold and warm, especially the older high mileage vehicles, because different issues can manifest themselves depending upon the temperature of the car, the engine, etc. All right, I'm gonna take it for a ride. Like I said, I've put quite a bit of mileage on this myself, so I know it actually runs pretty good. You know, I'm not going to say you're going to get, 200,000 miles out of this thing, but, if you take care of it, do a little bit of maintenance, it should last you quite a while, actually. And it'll look good, too. And there we go, through all 4 gears, so the overdrive definitely works. Oh, great, and it's starting to rain right now, too. Isn't that lovely? I just timed that perfectly. I do about 55, hands off the wheel. Track's pretty straight down the road. Tractor trailer coming, I don't want to let it drift over. Now, as you know, you're going to need some front tires probably. But not a bad vehicle. As you can see, it's pretty quiet in here. And plus, like I said, with the 7 passenger, 3 seats, it's a pretty desirable vehicle. But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be selling it cheap. It's worth what it's worth. That's what we say in the business. And I know what this is worth. So I will be pricing it accordingly with all the stuff in mind. What's wrong with it, what needs to be repaired. So please don't call me up saying, oh, I want to offer you less money because it's got this, this, and this wrong with it. Well, guess what? I already know that. So I'm going to price it accordingly. All right, here we go. Give it some good. It actually gets up and goes pretty good. I mean, obviously it's not like having an 8-cylinder, but the 4-liter does get you a little bit better gas mileage. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little brake test on this. And all that's going to consist of is me pulling into this vacant lot across the street from my place, finding a loose patch of gravel, let go of the steering wheel, slam on the brakes, see what happens. Just keep your eyes on the steering wheel. You just want to make sure that it doesn't like wildly, go one way or the other. It just tells you a little bit about the brake equalization. Obviously, you can't feel the stopping power, but I can describe it to you. All right, and so here we go. Hopefully, there'll be no fishermen parked in the parking lot. And of course, there's somebody parked right in the middle. Great. There we go. I'll just pull over here and off and brake. Okay, I got good news for you guys. You probably couldn't hear it on the video, but I felt it. This vehicle does have anti-lock brakes, and they do work properly. So it stopped the vehicle quickly, safely, and in a straight line. So again, more good stuff for you. This would be a great car. I mean, kids love these like SUVs. I mean, I really don't care myself, but they love them. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to check out the 4-wheel drive. Right now, we're sitting on about a 25-degree upslope. Okay. Now, here's what's important. This is not a 4x2, 4x4 situation in this vehicle. This vehicle has all-wheel drive, 4x4 constant high, 4x4 constant low. That's it. You don't get a 4x2 option. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check out the 4x4 auto. What I'm going to do, like I said, we're facing uphill. I'm going to step on the gas, and you just listen and watch and see how the vehicle accelerates. That'll tell you that the 4-wheel drive's working. Here we go. See, now what's interesting, it took right off, but I could hear the rear tires spinning a little bit of gravel. Why? Because the computer's making its mind up whether it needs to apply power down to the front wheels or not. Okay, so its first instinct is to spin the rear wheels. Now, what we're going to do, and this should change things, go to 4x4 high, the light comes on in the dash. Now, it's kind of a no-brainer for the computer because it just knows it's in 4-wheel drive. By the way, don't ever drive in 4x4 high in any kind of vehicle on dry roads. It'll rip your tires up, it'll rip your transfer case up, and your transmission. All right, here we go. Now, if you'll notice, the rear tires and the front tires spun at the same exact time. So that's pretty significant. Now, 4x4 high, you can engage at almost any speed. Up to, I think it's like 50, 55 miles an hour or something like that. But 4x4 low is a whole nother matter. Basically, it changes everything. Your shift points, it changes your gearing, it changes everything. And really, the only time you ever need to use 4x4 high or low is if you're like stuck in some really bad. Let's see, is this gonna work? Oh, there we go, got it. Okay. All right, now we're in 4x4 low. I'm gonna back it down. You gotta really be stuck in the mud, stuck in the snow, whatever. Never need it in the rain, ever. Because it changes everything. You'll watch, by the time I get to the top of my driveway, I'll have shifted through all 4 gears, and I'll probably only do it about 20 miles an hour. So here we go. And bam, 22 miles an hour, and it just hit all the gears. So basically, the moral of that story is you get about maybe 35, 40 miles an hour is your max speed in 4x4 low. But like I said, unless you actually like live in like Alaska or something, you're not going to need to worry about 4x4 low. Now, the process is reverse. You put the car in neutral, hit 4x4 high, you wait a second, you hear it click, boom, put it into gear, 4x4 high is now engaged, and now I'm putting it back into all-wheel drive because you don't need the 4x4 high because there's no snow and I'm not driving anymore out in the rain. All right, let's do a little quick recap on this baby. This is a 2002 7-passenger with the 3rd row seat Ford Explorer XLT, pretty much loaded to the hilt with equipment. The body's in decent shape, the interior's in decent shape, it runs and drives decent, everything about it is decent, but I'm calling it a handyman special because of the annoying, stupid little crap, like the door doesn't open, it's missing couple pieces of trim. I think it needs a handle for the seat to make the seat back tilt, although I would just recommend vice grips, it's probably cheaper. You know, but all the main components work, it runs good, might need a couple front tires. Again, the price will be commensurate with the condition of this vehicle. All right, so let's take one more walk around outside so you guys can get a look at this. If I can get this camera off without really screwing things up. Let's see, what is my problem here? There we go. All right, sorry about my hands in the way there, folks. All right, let's take one quick walk around. As I said, it's starting to sprinkle out a little bit, but you can still get a sense of how nice, or you know, what a decent vehicle it is. All right, I mean, that's just looking at it right there, it looks great. But we'll give you a little tour around it again. Oh, geez, you know, I forgot the biggest deal about this thing. Wow, I should have started the video off with this, but I'll end with it this time. This vehicle has a salvage title, meaning at some point in its past, I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know what happened, but somehow this vehicle was declared a total loss. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could run a Carfax or an auto check report on it. I couldn't be bothered to do that, but that's up to you. Does not mean I've never had a problem, ever, in any state with someone registering a vehicle with a salvage title, because it also has an A title, which means the mileage is accurate, or actual mileage is what actually A stands for. But I do announce, and I will put this in the listing, this is a salvage title vehicle. Don't know what happened, don't know whether it was a physical accident, I don't know whether somebody ran something over, I don't know whether it was flooded out. I have no idea why it's a salvage title, but it's got one. So again, I am making the price commensurate because of that as well. And as I always do, I hope this vehicle goes to some good home. Thanks.